artist name is Illustrated, and I'm from Saskatoon. So before I knew anything about music, I got into poetry. My cousin made me write a poem. I didn't like writing, I didn't like poetry. And he's like, you can't come back into the house until you write a poem. So I sat for about 4 hours trying to write a poem. It was my first little piece, and after I got into poetry, I got into music. Once I turned 21, I started getting serious with writing, more so my poetry, because I'm more of a spoken word poet over everything. So with my music, it stems from my childhood and what I've gone through, the foster homes that I grew up in, the cities that I've been to. Dear Mother of Mine, that's a song. And basically what that stems from is throughout my whole life, I was in and out of care. I was in my mom's custody sometimes, but she would always be drinking. She would feed us, she would do what she could with what she was taught when she was a kid. And when I was turning 15, she said she was going to Saskatoon for the weekend, and she ended up not coming back. The power shut off, there was no food in the fridge. Social services showed up and took my brothers and sisters. For those years, I chased after my mom. I was mad at her, I hated her for so many years. And this song talks about the foster home that I was in and how the foster care system failed me as a youth. And what they did to me one night was they duct taped my hands and legs together, and they duct taped my mouth and nose shut one night just because I was crying for my mother. And the song was just my way of venting, because I knew maybe somebody has gone through similar situations that I have, that this song could help them, maybe save them. The first time I drank was to find out why my mom drank, what was so special about it. It was nothing special to me. And I don't judge those who drink, and I don't judge those who are addicted to anything, because if you're stuck and that addiction has you, it has you. There's gonna be some point where you can get out of it, and sometimes you can't. So on December 31st of 2014, I was sitting there with a cheap like $12 bottle of liquor and a razor blade, and I was crying, and I was like, you either kill yourself now or you get the hell up and you do something. You do something. So I put the razor down, I put the liquor down, and I went for a jog in the cold, like just sober myself up. And on my way back, I stopped 2 blocks from my house and I walked. And as I was walking, I was planning in my head, I was like, okay, do you want to make it as an artist? What are you going to do? What do you need to do? So I said 2015 was about fixing myself, working myself emotionally, and not caring what people had to say or anything to me about fixing myself. And then I said on that same night, 2016, was to work on my poetry and work on my writing, and I did so. And I also said that same year, that 2017, I was going to start performing. Whether you draw, you paint, you sing, you rap, or you even sew. No matter what, your talent is what's going to save you in life. I approach you for the last time. I grab you by the hand and I hold you closer than the sky holds the moon and the sun. Consumed as one, our love was once an eclipse so beautiful that it could not be felt by feelings of lust, just a heart, a few words, and a crush. Now before we depart, for what it's worth, I believed in us. I fought to keep the passion, the page, the mic alive, but too many things got in the way before the ink in my pen died. Now we descend like the sun from the moon in the night sky. It's never the right time to say goodbye, but the light's getting dimmer. We fight, hoping the pain would not be delivered. But this moment, it will not reconsider our fate. It's falling quicker, the memories of this year. It's bitter, the taste of our own tears. Like others, we can finally say that we faced our fears. Though our love looked hopeful in dying eyes, now the end is drawing near. The sunset, the passing, whatever you want to call it, our love chose to follow it. And I chose to fall with it. In the depths of my depression, I spoke of it. In the heights of our happiness, yelled hope for this. You thought that it would change. You thought that it would go away. Some would say it's just a feeling. Others would agree a disease. Doctors plead a brain dysfunction so I can now function in friendships, relationships, or even my own life. So I'm leaving this all behind. This will be the last time, the last night I hold you closer under the spotlight. We hold hands like an old couple to an old romance. Our words connect like the perfect steps to a slow dance. But time won't slow down, and it's time to let go now, but we don't know how. I scream out loud, I love you. And as our hands depart, the echoes repeat, I love you. And before you leave, I could see it in your eyes that you really did believe that our love, it would never die. Hey, I'm Illustrated, and you're watching Digital Drum.